How your first $10,000 changes everything. The money snowball effect. What if I told you that saving your first $10,000 will change your entire financial future? Sounds dramatic, right? But trust me, this is the turning point where everything shifts. It's not about making $1 million right away. It's about proving to yourself that you can build wealth. And once you do that, you gain an unstoppable financial momentum. I didn't grow up with much, so when I first started taking my finances seriously, at first, the idea of reaching 5 figures seemed impossible, until it wasn't. The day I saw my bank balance hit $10,000, something shifted in my mindset. Suddenly, I wasn't just thinking about saving small amounts, I was thinking about 6 figures, investments, and financial freedom. If you've never had $10,000 in savings before, let me tell you why hitting this milestone is one of the most powerful things you can do. And by the end of this video, I guarantee you'll be motivated to reach it. Let's break it down. 1. Your first $10,000 breaks the mental barrier of wealth. Have you ever noticed how some numbers just feel different? Like, why does running 9,192 meters feel incomplete, but hitting 10,000 meters feels like a huge win? That's because our brains are wired to recognize round numbers as milestones. In finance, this effect is huge. A 1997 study by psychologist Albert Bandura found that self-efficacy, believing you can achieve something, is one of the strongest predictors of success. When people set smaller, specific financial goals instead of vague, big ones, they're far more likely to succeed. Your first $10,000 is that psychological shift. Before you save it, $100,000 might feel like an impossible dream. But once you cross that 5-figure threshold, you suddenly realize, if I can do this, why not $50,000? Why not $100,000? This is why people who reach $10,000 in savings tend to accelerate their wealth building. Their mindset has changed, and they now see financial growth as possible. Their perspective on money changes. They stop seeing money as something they just earn and spend, and start seeing it as something they can grow. This is why your first big savings goal isn't just about the money. It's about proving to yourself that you can do it. Once you hit that number, your confidence skyrockets, and you start thinking bigger. So if you're working toward your first $10,000, know this. It's not just about the cash. It's about unlocking a new level of financial confidence that will push you even further. Keep going, because once you hit that goal, you'll realize you're capable of way more than you thought. 2. The money snowball effect. Each 10K gets easier. Let's do a quick thought experiment. Imagine you start from zero and save $1,000 per year, investing it in the stock market with an average 10% return. It would take about 8 years to reach your first $10,000. That's almost a decade. But here's where things get interesting. Your next $10,000 would take only 4.7 years. The next, 3.5 years. After that, 2.2 years. See the pattern? The more money you have, the faster it grows. This is because your savings aren't just sitting there. They're working for you, compounding and generating their own income. Every dollar you invest generates returns, and those returns generate even more returns over time. And it gets even better. If you increase your contributions even just a little, the growth speeds up even more. Instead of taking years to save another $10,000, you could start doing it in months. Think of it like a snowball rolling down a hill. At first, it's just a small ball of snow, but as it rolls, it picks up more and more, getting bigger and bigger until it becomes unstoppable. That's exactly how building wealth works. At first, saving money feels slow and frustrating, but if you stay consistent, you'll reach a point where your investments start doing most of the heavy lifting for you. Instead of you working for money, your money starts working for you. 3. A $10,000 emergency fund changes everything. Imagine this. You wake up tomorrow and your car won't start. You take it to the shop and they hit you with a $1,200 repair bill. Or maybe your laptop dies right before an important project is due. Or even worse, you suddenly lose your job with no warning. What would you do? For most people, these situations are a nightmare. Without saving, they're forced to put the expense on a credit card, take out a high-interest loan, or even borrow from friends and family. This is how so many people end up in a cycle of debt, struggling to catch up while new expenses keep piling on. Murphy's Law states, anything that can go wrong will go wrong. Life happens. Unexpected expenses will hit you hard. And if you don't have a financial buffer, you might have to take on debt, which is where most people start to spiral. But if you have $10,000 saved, you're not just financially secure, you're mentally free. You can handle emergencies without stress, avoid high-interest loans, and focus on building wealth instead of just surviving. This peace of mind is priceless. Money isn't just about numbers in a bank account. It's about security and peace of mind. When you have an emergency fund, you don't have to live in fear of the next unexpected expense. 4. The unfair risk-reward ratio. Why more money makes more money. Let's compare two investors. Investor A puts $100 into the stock market and earns a 10% return. That's $10 in profit. Investor B invests $10,000 and also earns 10%. That's $1,000 in profit. Both investors took the same risk. Both had the same waiting time, but one made 100 times more money. This is why wealthy people keep getting wealthier. Because once they have a large sum invested, their money grows exponentially, while people with little money see tiny returns that don't seem worth it. Your first $10,000 gets you on the right side of this wealth equation. 5. How 10K can wipe out. High-interest debt. Credit card debt is a wealth killer. The average credit card interest rate in 2024 is over 20%, meaning debt grows faster than most investments. Let's say you owe $5,000 on a credit card at 20% interest. That means by the end of the year, you'd owe an extra $1,000 just in interest. Now imagine instead of investing, you used your $10,000 savings to pay off that debt. You've just given yourself an instant 20% return, better than almost any investment you could make. This is why before you start investing, you should pay off high-interest debt first. It's the fastest way to go from financially stuck to financially free. 6. Building wealth is about discipline, not just money. Here's the truth. People don't accidentally save $10,000. You don't wake up one day with 5 figures in your bank account unless you've developed good financial habits. Research in the book The Power of Habit shows that successful people follow a habit loop. 1. Cue. Something triggers a behavior, e.g. you getting a paycheck. 2. Routine. The behavior itself, e.g. saving or spending. 3. Reward. What you gain, e.g. financial security or instant gratification. The difference between wealthy people and broke people isn't how much they make, it's their routine. Some people see their paycheck and immediately spend it on short-term comforts like gadgets and vacations. Others see their paycheck and invest it for a bigger reward in the future, financial freedom. Saving your first $10,000 means you've already built the hardest habit in wealth building, discipline. Now, it's just about refining it. If you've made it this far, I have a challenge for you. Set a goal to save your first $10,000. Whether it takes you 6 months or 6 years, it doesn't matter. What matters is that you prove to yourself that you can do it. Because once you do, everything changes. Your mindset shifts. Your financial confidence skyrockets. Your money starts working for you instead of the other way around. And remember, the first $10,000 is just the beginning. If you can save $10,000, you can save $100,000. And if you can save $100,000, you can build wealth beyond your imagination. Let me know in the comments, what's your biggest financial goal right now? Hit the like button and subscribe.